How's it going, YouTube? This is Crops, aka Beast Beats, and today I'm coming at y'all with a pure wind, aka wind up goat deck. So last time we did water, this time we're doing all wind. It's not as good as the water, but this is what we got for goat wind cards. So we're on 3 flying Kamakari number 1. Basically just can go into any wind monster with 1500 or less, including itself, or some targets for it, most of the deck I believe. Twin-headed behemoth. This, when it's destroyed by battle or card effect, it comes back during that end phase with 1000 attack, 1000 defense. So it can be used as tribute fodder or just to have another body on board. As well as 1 Gray Wing. This is just the worst Mataza the Zapper. It requires you to discard a card during your main phase 1 to attack twice, but that's still 26 or more with the field spell. We're on 1 Armed Dragon level 3 and 1 Armed Dragon level 5. So of course you can go into that in multiples until you end on this, and then during your standby phase bring out Armed Dragon level 5, which is just a beefy guy and does have the effect where you can discard a monster and pop something that has equal or less attack than that monster. We don't have too many big monsters in this deck, so that's probably not going to come up too often, but you can have things like Thousand Eyes or different Reaper, different annoyances. Then for other targets, still for the flying Kamakari would be Sasuke Samurai. This is Mystic Swordsman level 2. Just for wind, with less attack, more defense. As well as 3 Sasuke Samurai, number 4. This guy, you flip a coin and call it. If you call it right, the monster's destroyed before damage calc. So flips don't go up, so you can technically act like a Mystic Swordsman level 2 on a set. Also, if you call it wrong, it does proceed to damage calc, so it's a risky card, but we do play a couple spells to hopefully mitigate that risk a little bit at least. As well as 1 Chaos Rider Gustav. It's a 1400 wind warrior. You can banish up to 2 spells, and it gains 300 attack for each spell you banish until the end of your opponent's turn. Kind of like Bazoo the Soul Eater, but spell cards. And can go up to 2k or 2500 with the field spell. So just another beefy guy. Then we're on 3 Sylphid. This is much worse than most things like Gigantes or Aqua Spirit, but it's what wind gets. It's a 1700. You banish 1 wind, a special it from your hand. And if it's destroyed by battle, your opponent discards a random card. So it's basically just extra beaters, extra bodies, but can also discard from your opponent's hand. 3 Slate Warrior. This is probably the strongest monster basically in the deck. It's a flip, so if it gets knocked, you banish all copies, which is relevant for another card in the deck. But also, if it is flipped successfully, and like say you can flip summon it, it gains 500 attack and defense, so it goes to 24 by 900. If it's destroyed by battle, by an opponent's monster, that monster loses 500 attack and defense. And it's not part of the flip effect, so it still will decrease Blade Knight's attack if it attacks over it while it's face down. Then we're also on, that's it for the monsters. Spells, what's in basically all these goat decks that need help, Trinity, as well as Heavy, Mystical Red Typhoon, Snatch Steal, Premature Burial, 2 Book of Moons, only 1 knock, 1 swap, just to have more variance against, like if you're going against warriors, this card usually sucks. This is actually good against warriors, and we arm recruiters and Twin-headed behemoth and things like that, so it has some warrant to be in the deck. In theory, you could do 2 of bull, 2 of this, or any combination of that. 2 Rising Air Current, boost all wind monsters by 500 attack, lower their defense by 400. So then 1 Terraforming Search It. Also searches something in the side deck. But this booster, guys, so like this becomes 29. Sadly, still can't contest BLS, but it's got big beefy wind monsters to beat over warriors, to beat over any opponent's monsters threats. 2 second Coin Toss. We toss in coins, and especially with that Sasuke Samurai, that's the primary thing we want it for. If you don't like the result, so if you call it wrong, basically, you can flip a coin again, and it can only be used once per turn. So that's a continuous for the coin flipping, and Fairy Box. This is basically a joke, but I figure since we're on second coin toss, let's play something else besides Sasuke Samurai. So you can make your opponent's monsters attack 0 until the end of the, I believe it's battle phase. During the end, just that battle phase. You gotta pay 500 during your standby phase or destroy it, but it's a continuous trap. So yeah, that was it for the spells, and the rest of the traps are just Ring, Torrential, Mirror Force, Call of the Haunted, and the final trap, 1 return from the different dimension, just to hopefully like get back if they knock your Slate Warriors, and then Sylphid primarily is also banishing wind monsters, so you can hopefully end the game, the win button of the deck. That's it for the 40 main. On to the 15 side cards. Luster Dragon didn't quite make the cut, but it was close. 1 Lady Ninja Yai. Basically, it's not that good, but you discard a wind to return all spell and traps your opponent controls to the hand. I was on Rhoda in the deck originally, because the Sasuke Samurai is Chaos Gustav and regular Sasuke Samurai are warriors. In theory, you could definitely put Rhoda instead of something from the main, because it can also search this in the side, but you probably could do things like discard a wind, then banish it with Sylphid, return everything, like return game kind of play. So there is some properties to it. We're on 2 Harpy Lady 1 and 1 Harpy Lady 2 on the side. This is basically to boost our guys by, or all wind monsters by 300, I believe it is. Yeah. This is kind of like a Sasuke Samurai in a sense. It negates the effect of flip effect monsters it destroys by battle. And with the field spell, this actually goes to 21, and this would be 18 on its own. And then we're also on Birdface. Birdface just searches Harpy Ladies. So it's also a 16/16 body, which is respectable in GOAT, I'd say, for a wind monster. Then we're also on 1 Shadow Knight Archfiend. It's a 2k beater. You do take, I believe, 900, during your standby phase, which is quite a bit of burn. But it also does half battle damage, and if it would be targeted, you can roll a dice. If you get a 3, you can negate that effect that targets it. Then we're also on Spear Dragon. These mostly are like for the warrior matchup. What Spear Dragon does is it does piercing over opponent's monsters, and then goes to defense position after attacking. So it's just a big piercer. More beaters. 2 of an actual pretty good wind monster finally again, in the case of 2 spell cancelers. Really great against Reasoning Gate, really good against combo decks. Basically anything where they got a lot of spells that you don't want to go off, you can side in the spell cancelers and shut those decks down. We're also on 2 Harpies Hunting Grounds. So this is another target to search with the Terraforming. And when you side in, if you side in the Harpy engine, which you could against heavy back row decks, whenever a Harpy monster is normal or special summoned, you target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. Now, you have to destroy a spell or trap on the field, so if there's only spell and traps on your side of the field, including the field spell itself, you have to target something to destroy. So just be cautious on when you use Harpy's Hunting Ground if you're crazy enough to play a deck like this. And then we're on 2 Decree. Again, we're not on too many traps, so things like Warriors or matchups like that, you want to go ahead and side in the World Decree. Basically just negate all the trap cards and get your plays through. Probably take out Return or something if you're starting that engine in. And the final 2 trap cards are 2 Fiend Comedian. This is another coin flip card for the second coin toss. Basically, you call a coin toss. If you call it right, you banish all cards from your opponent's graveyard. So amazing against Chaos. If you call it wrong, you milk cards equal to the amount of cards in their grave. So technically that can fuel up things for like Sylphid, but you want to call it right. So hopefully that second coin toss, or you get the 50-50 right. Definitely a meme card, right? It's got comedian in its name. And that's it for the main and the side. The extra, of course, technically things like Thousand Dragon. As far as wind monsters, there's no... Well, actually, there's Dragoness the Wicked Knight, and actually Fiend Skull Dragon is win, but we're not on Cyberstone or Metamorphosis, so you wouldn't be able to go into that. Am I missing any other? Kamakari Attack, Punished Eagle, Metal Dragon, Elemental Hero Flamewing Man is win. You're probably, if you make that, and Gaia the Dragon Champion. I think that's pretty much all the wind attribute fusions that you basically never go into. But that's it for the wind deck profile. This is going to be a sneak peek for the next deck profile on the channel. That will be Insects. So stay tuned for that. That one's going to be better than this deck, guaranteed. Likely not better than the water deck, though. And that's about it. I challenge you guys to make a all attribute goat deck or type. Attribute would probably be harder, especially fire. I haven't had an idea for fire yet, but I'll probably do that in the future. We'll have to find out. But all right, guys, take care. This is Crops, aka Beast Beats. It's the worst, so are we. Till next time.